the three main elements of the study of Nahw are as follows. Number one, you begin, or you always begin, by identifying the different types of words in a sentence, right? So you begin by the identification of the different types of words based on the definitions and salient identifiers of a class of words, i.e., so ulama of Nahw have defined nouns and verbs and huruf, i.e., the conjunction words. They've defined them with specific definitions, and they've defined them with specific identifiers. How do you identify a noun in a sentence? So based on that knowledge, you will learn to identify different types of words in a sentence. Once you've done that, you will move on to number two, which is recognition of the amil and the ma'mul. Which word in a sentence is the agent of inflection, and which word in the sentence is the object of inflection. Okay, so which word causes a word, which word is a cause, and which word is the effect, right? Which word causes another word to change its case ending, and which word is accepting this sort of effect from this other word and changing its case ending, right? So we after we've identified which words are nouns and verbs specifically, then we identify which of them are amil and which of them are ma'mul, i.e. the agents and the objects of inflection. Once we have this information sorted, we can move on to the third stage of our study of Nahw, which is based on the two above. You conduct a syntactical analysis of the sentence. This is called i'rab in Arabic, right? So you do i'rab of the sentence. Now I've mentioned these little stages in between that I've written in green and I've highlighted in purple. So these are stages that happen in between or after these three stages, but these are not the subject matter of Nahw itself. So, for example, after you've identified the words, the type of words, i.e. number one, after you've done the step one, before you move on to step two, you will conduct a morphological analysis of the words and their meaning. So that's the subject, that's the study matter of sarf, for example, right? And once you're done with i'rab of a sentence, which is number three, that's the last stage that's the limitations of Nahw. That's how far as Nahw goes. After this, you move on to the balaghi side of the discussion in an Arabic sentence, right? So you, based on the above, you conduct a discourse analysis of the sentence. So discourse analysis is a linguistic term, which means essentially to look at the choice of words and the choice of structure of words in a sentence to deduce the different types of meanings being conveyed by the speaker or the communicator of that language or the sentence, right? So this is the subject matter of balagha, where you analyze the shifts in meaning based on the structure of words in a sentence. Now, to quickly put this all into perspective, let's take this sentence, this Arabic sentence, for example, and let's apply all those three steps to this. So, for example, you will begin by saying, so you have yadrusu, zaydun, fi al-madrasati. You have these four words in the sentence, right? So you would start off by identifying each of these as nouns, verbs, and huruf, right? So asma, fa'al, and huruf. So you would say yadrusu is fi'al, zayd is noun, fi is harf, and al-madras is noun again. But then you would go a bit ahead by saying that yadrus is a fi'al, but from the class of af'al, it is a fi'al mudari'. Right, and from fi'l mudari', it is of a specific wazn, it is of a specific scale, a specific bab, which is darasa yadrusu, i.e. nasara yansuru. Right. Now, of course, all of this will come in these modules, inshallah, that you're studying bidinillah. So nothing to worry about there. Zaydun is an ism, but from its class of asma, it is a specific type of ism. It is ism jamid, not masdar, not mushtaq, right? You come across these terms very soon with Allah Ta'ala. Fi is a harf, i.e. joins the word after it with a sentence that is preceded, or the words that have preceded, and so this becomes one sentence. Now, from the class of huruf, fi is a specific type of harf. It's called harf jar. There's exactly 17 of those, right? Ba, ta, kaf, lam, wa, mud, mudkhala, ruba, hasha, min, ada, fi, ala, hatta, ila. Right, so these are 17 of those, and fi is one of them. And this after you've identified this as a harf, you can move on to the next word, al-madrasa, and you would say al-madrasa is a noun as well. Now, how do you identify to these? Well, that's you'll study that very soon, inshallah. Right, in fact, right after we've detailed a brief mind map of Nahw, we'll jump into identifying asma al-fa'al and huruf. Right, now this is the first step. Right, you've identified af'al, asma and huruf in this sentence, and you have gone a bit deeper than that by identifying the very specific type of af'al, huruf and asma that you have in the sentence. Once you have that, you can move on to identifying which word is the amil, i.e. the agent of inflection, and which word is the object of inflection. Right, so you would say yadrusu is a fi'l, and fi'l is an amil. It acts on its doer. Fi'l, i.e. verb, it acts on its doer, the person who is performing this action, and it gives it the rafa'a, zaydun. The reason why zaydun has an is because it's a fa'il, it's a doer of this action of yadrus, i.e. studying, right? So because it's a fa'il, it has the sound, right? So this fi'il acts on the word zayd, and it sort of affects it to have this state with double dhamma, i.e. tanween. Okay, and now the word fi acts on the word al-madrasa, and it causes it to have a kasra at the end, i.e. jar, fil madrasati, as opposed to al-madrasatu or al-madrasata. Okay, so now you've identified, so you have essentially two awamil, you have yadrusu and you have fi, and you have two ma'mul, you have zayd and you have al-madrasati. Okay, so this is the second step. Now, once you've done that, you will move on to the third step. You would say yadrusu is the fi'l mudari'. Okay, bab, nasara, yansuru, and you have this tertib that you follow. But you would say yadrusu fi'l, zaydun fa'il, fi harf jar, al-madrasati majrur. Jar and majrur, they put together, they are conveying some information about yadrusu, so they are muta'alliq to yadrusu. Muta'alliq is the word yadrusu, and they are muta'alliq. You come across these words, inshallah, in your upcoming modules in the next few courses, after the gateway course has ended. But inshallah, you cover most of the primary information in this module with ta'ala. Right. So then, once you've done this, you go back. So you would say the fi'l with its fa'il and with its muta'alliq, this combines together to make a sentence called jumla, i.e. sentence, fi'liya, a verbal sentence, okay? A verbal sentence, right? Jumla fi'liya. And it is a type of sentence which conveys information. So it is jumla fi'liya khabariya. It conveys a khabar and a piece of information, okay? So this is essentially the three steps in practice, and of course we have skimmed over the exact steps, but with practice and with the more you study and with more revision of these same concepts and application of these same concepts, most of this will become automatic. You will not even have to think by the time you are, for example, have studied some say beginner book of Nahw. It's that simple, inshallah. It's not difficult at all.